Hey there guys, Kieran here with another episode of Kieransmoviespace, the podcast where I talk about the latest movie news. I try to review every film I see, and I basically use this space to talk about the stuff that I want to talk about. And what I'm going to be talking about in this episode is something that I'm really excited about, which is the first trailer for Mowgli, the new retelling of The Jungle Book from the god of performance capture, Andy Serkis. I know a lot of people are probably wondering why we're getting another Jungle Book movie just 2 years after Jon Favreau's and Disney's version was released, but I've been really excited to see what Andy Serkis can do with this story and these characters since this film was first announced. From the looks of this trailer, which Warner Bros. Released earlier today, this will be a much more serious and a darker version of the story than you might expect, and it definitely looks like Andy Serkis is trying to capture the tone of Kipling's original book. And personally, I think that was the right path for Serkis to take. The last thing we want is a cheap carbon copy of Jon Favreau's film, and by going in a darker and more realistic direction, Serkis has he's ensured that there won't be too much comparison between his movie and the Disney version. Now, let's move on and talk about the visual effects for a little bit, since that's probably what everyone wants to talk about anyway. Obviously, when you've got Andy Serkis, who gave us phenomenal performance capture characters like Caesar and Gollum, there's an expectation for this film to give us something groundbreaking in terms of visuals, and while we only get a small glimpse at some of the animals, I've got to say that so far I'm really impressed with what Serkis has been able to create. And that's coming from someone that knows they'll probably be working on the effects right up until the day the film is released, so these definitely aren't the completed effects. Just looking closer at some of the characters, it's incredible to see how they've kind of blended the performance with the animals. In certain shots you can see Christian Bale's performance underneath the CGI, in the same way that you could see Andy Serkis underneath Caesar in the Planet of the Apes movies. And I feel like that's probably going to be something that gives this version of The Jungle Book the edge over Jon Favreau's. As for the characters themselves, the amount of detail added to each animal is insane. I mean, certain shots of Shere Khan look so realistic that I swear I was actually looking at a tiger, and there's one shot of Baloo that just looks incredible, as well as the first look at Kaa and some of the shots of Bagheera. So I think on a visual level, Mowgli is definitely gonna impress. And something else that's really gonna impress is the cast for this film, because, and this is something that I quickly want to talk about, because I absolutely loved the cast for Jon Favreau's version of this story, but somehow Andy Serkis has pieced together an even more impressive lineup of performers, which includes Oscar winner Christian Bale as Bagheera, Oscar winner Cate Blanchett as Kaa, Oscar nominee Benedict Cumberbatch as Shere Khan, Oscar nominee Naomi Harris as Nisa, and Andy Serkis as Baloo. Then you've got Matthew Rice and Frida Pinto as two human characters, and of course young actor Rohan Chand as Mowgli. Now, we don't get to see every one of those characters speak in this trailer, but from what we have seen and what we've heard, it's enough to get excited. The voiceover from Christian Bale is outstanding, and it seems like he's bringing a warmth to Bagheera that we haven't seen before in any previous versions of this tale. And then we get a few moments with Benedict Cumberbatch as Shere Khan, and he just sounds and looks incredible. He really brings the terror to that character, and I'm really excited to see some more of that character, as well as some of the other characters that we know from this story. There's one shot of Kaa that looks terrifying, and Cate Blanchett brings something to that character that matches what Scarlett Johansson did in Jon Favreau's version. So yeah, the cast is definitely something that caught my eye in this trailer, and I can't wait to get a better look at each of the cast members in the full film. Overall, I think this trailer did a fantastic job of letting people know what this movie is, and letting them know that it's not the same thing as Disney's version in 2016. Nobody can watch this trailer and confuse it with Jon Favreau's version, which will certainly help the marketing campaign and help audiences understand this version a little bit more. I think the visuals look really cool, and I can't wait to see how they evolve when they finally make it to the big screen, and I'm really excited to see this darker version of a story that I love. Okay, so that's pretty much it for my review of the Mowgli trailer. Please like and share this episode, and make sure you come back later this week for my review of Solo: A Star Wars Story. Before you go, let me know what you thought of the trailer in the comment section below. Again, thanks for listening. I'll see you next time.